Hello and welcome to ITP.net. Our discussion today is around the telecom sector in the Middle East region, trends, investments, opportunities, and more. In the wake of social restrictions, mobile broadband and fixed wireless connections have allowed billions of people to stay connected. Just within the UAE, DO has reported a 200% surge in the use of video services and 40% increase in residential broadband usage. But this increase is not without its set of challenges. Restricted travel has resulted in an increase in domestic communications, causing a significant drop in roaming revenues. Adding fuel to fire, there has been an increase in the number of cyber attacks, particularly with companies trying to maintain effective operations in the hybrid era. Joining us today is the EMEA Business Head at STL, Rahul Puri, and we will discuss what trends and strategies are driving investment opportunities for telcos in this region. Thank you for joining us today, Rahul.
It's my pleasure, Sarah. How are you been?
All good here, all good. So, Rahul, there's a lot happening in this industry. So can we start with your assessment of the telecom services sector in the region and especially highlighting what kind of trends are emerging here now?
Sure. Sarah, when we talk about Middle East Africa, clearly there are two kinds of operators, two kinds of markets. One which are clearly advanced and developed, and ones which are catching up now. One good thing is, especially in the Middle East region, most of the economies of the governments had very strong and robust telecom policies, and they were very liberal policies right from the beginning, and that has helped them probably even see through this difficult phase of the COVID year which went by, because the networks were advanced, networks were well deployed. Just to give you a bit of numbers again, and these are ever-changing numbers. Middle East boasts of about 97% fiber connectivity, which is probably the best in the world. Again, Qatar was the first one to launch 5G services, and then followed by DO and Etisalat and some of the other telcos in the region. So clearly, the networks were strong enough to manage this. Going forward, we are seeing a pent-up demand for connectivity. We are seeing, obviously the demand shifting. Earlier, the demand was probably, more on cellular. Now it's shifting to wired or broadband. And anyways, the gap between the two is diminishing. We are also seeing trends emerging where people are working from home, kids are taking classes from home, and we all went through that phase. And thanks to the amazing work the telcos have done in this region, we could sustain and live through that. So as we come out of this pandemic, clearly there is a very big focus, not only from the governments, from the telcos, from the cloud companies, and from the investors to make sure we build networks for the future. So what we are seeing now is probably a 10-year super cycle, as I like to call it, where telcos will disproportionately focus on three key elements of the network. One is FTTX, 5G, and fiberization. So when I say 5G, it will more be focused on Open RAN platform, because that's the future. And clearly, building the strong fiber backbone across the markets. Then we also see markets like some of the African markets where they are still playing the catch-up game. So I think that today, the world we live in, almost 50% of the people are still not connected with proper broadband. So there is a massive requirement or focus to making sure the underconnected or not connected are getting connected soon. So that's some of the trends which I see emerging in this market.
So, like you just said, Rahul, clearly there are the leaders or the early adopters, and there are the laggers who really need to catch up. Now, how would you, keeping that in mind, how would you assess the market sentiment around developing network and infrastructure for 5G wireless service?
Good question. Clearly, the network or good connectivity has become almost like a fundamental for every individual today. Clearly, the investments or the plans for future which have been laid out strongly depend on how strong the networks are of the future. Today, when we look at Dubai 2040 vision or Saudi's 2030 plan, clearly, these are all dependent heavily on strong 5G connectivity. The networks, as I see today, connectivity which was more like a product sold, will now become a backbone for other services to be sold, on the platform. Take for example, Dubai is talking about driverless cars in future. Clearly, that cannot happen till the time you have a low latency, strong 5G network. We are talking about advancements in medical science, which cannot happen without strong fiber optic or 5G networks. Similarly, what we saw that in the last year, the market shifted towards e-commerce platform in a big way. So that cannot happen again without a strong network in place. So those are the few things which will drive, and I think the policymakers, the governments, and the telcos will jointly drive this change.
Seeing this change that you just talked about, we have seen, especially in this region, strong investment from a number of tier 1 telecommunications service providers, especially starting from the middle of 2020. And since then, STL has also been expanding its presence in this region. So can you tell us which investment opportunities are emerging with these advances, and how does that play into STL's plans for this region?
Clearly, 2020 has been an inflection point in the digital era for the networks. Clearly, and the investments which are happening. Obviously, STL continues to play a very strong partnership-driven role with all the key telcos. Not only the telcos, but the cloud companies, the data center companies, the utility companies, and so on and so forth. What we are seeing, one clearly. The boundaries between wired and wireless are kind of fading away. Compute and connectivity is coming together. Hardware and software are coming together in a disintegrated format. So, and everything is happening on the edge. And STL, is uniquely placed to address all these needs for the future. We are a full value connectivity company, and that's what. From our portfolio, whether it's the optical portfolio or the O-RAN portfolio or the data center business or the network deployment business, or even on the software side, which is BSS essentially, we are uniquely placed to address the needs of the telcos of today. So that's the focus for us. In terms of investments, clearly. Middle East remains a very strong focus for us, and we've been investing in this market. We've been in this market for 20 years, and we'll continue to do so.
Talking about STL expanding its presence, can you tell us which recent partnerships you've entered in this region? Was there any particular reason behind it, or what you aim to gain from it? And particularly also touching on the countries that are key for your business development in this region.
Middle East has been a focus market for us, and STL has been present in this market for almost 20 years now. We proudly have all the large telcos, the cloud companies, data center companies as a valued customers in this market. In terms of expansion, clearly we are looking at partnering with telcos on their Open RAN journey. We are looking at providing data center solutions as they come up here. We are also helping, trying to bring in the services or the network deployment services business here, because with a very strong experience of rolling out world-class networks in India or Europe, we want to bring those same solutions, services here as well, primarily to address the need of the telcos where they are facing challenges in faster deployment. So obviously, through our products and solutions and services, we want to address that. In terms of markets, clearly, entire Middle East holds a very, very strong promise. where the developed market will probably have already embarked on the journey towards 5G, and the other markets are catching up. So I don't have any favorites here, but yes, this market is a very key market for us.
Rahul, you've outlined in the past, since we've been discussing, about STL's how they have expanded their products and solutions, how they are exploring more geographies, entering partnerships. Now, that's what's been happening till now. Can you outline also for us what the roadmap is going forward for STL?
Sure. So, as I said, clearly, the focus is to bring in all the production services which STL offers to its customers globally. Whether it's solutions around Open RAN, we have strong patents there, we strong products there. We are working with leading telcos worldwide. So that's something which we want to bring to the region. We also want to bring in the network deployment services business to this market, because today there is a resource crunch in terms of manpower and also in terms of training that manpower to be able to deploy networks faster and first time right. So we want to bring our expertise and help the telcos in the region. We are committed to and working with data center companies or the cloud companies to set up data centers. We've already done that in the region. We will continue to do that. We are already providing software solutions to leading telcos in terms, for their BSS needs. We'll continue to do that. So clearly, the business has grown. The team has grown. We've actually, during the pandemic year, we doubled our manpower in the region, and we continue to expand and focus in delivering solutions to our customers in the region.
We've seen that over the past year, more than a year, customer demands have changed, and the way they consume content has changed. The amount of bandwidth they require has changed, both on a personal and an enterprise level. Now, looking at that, there are, of course, so many challenges that have come. The telcos have faced them, their users have faced them. So what role does STL play, and how do you work with your partners and customers to make sure that if all the challenges cannot be addressed, at least your customers and partners can be better prepared to mitigate them?
Sure. Great question, Sarah. And it goes very well with the ethos of STL today. We, as I said earlier as well, we clearly believe in partnering with our customers and helping them solve some of the challenges they may be facing in their business. So that's been the approach always. Today, if you look at telcos in the region, there are a couple of challenges we are facing. One, clearly, the need to deploy networks faster and more efficiently and first time right. So clearly, with our almost 25 years of experience in this domain, we bring in and we co-create solutions or products which help them do it right. Take, for example, we have this unique product which is Stellar Fiber, which is a unique product which has the bending sensitivity to be able to be deployed faster, also without any challenges, and also it is completely backward integrated with the previous generation of optic fiber and optic fiber cables. So that helps telcos do it faster. If there are bends in the network, there's no loss. So those kind of there's no splicing loss when the splicing with traditional networks. Today telcos are trying to deploy more fiber in the same ducts. So instead of digging it up and putting new ducts, we are helping telcos with our intelligently bonded ribbon, as we like to call it, where they can blow up to 4x of fiber of what they were traditionally blowing in the same ducts. Similarly, in terms of the optical solutions, we are bringing in some really path-breaking unique solutions for them to use. Not just that, in terms of capacities, in terms of manpower. As I said, we are bringing in the network services deployment business into this market, where we will be able to help telcos do end-to-end network deployment and right from design to deployment, which is faster, more efficient, and first time right. it's worth mentioning here as manpower is a big constraint today worldwide because the demand has gone multifold. The manpower of the semi-skilled or skilled manpower has not grown multifold. So we do have STL Academy, which is it's a Guinness World Record holder academy, which has trained over 4 lakh individuals in this field, and we continue to use their expertise in helping our contractors, our subcontractors, and helping their teams to be trained, and also creating employment opportunities for people to deploy networks. So that's what we continue to do, and needless to say, Middle East remains a key focus market for us.
Clearly, Rahul, we can see that there with 5G networks and what we see in the region is that there are those who are leading the region with the development of their infrastructure, but there are also those who are lagging. And with both, they come with their unique challenges. And STL, on its part, is working with its customers and partners to make sure that when operators and telcos look to scale up and build out their next-gen networks, they are able to do that in an easy-to-do way. So thank you so much, and we'll continue coming back to you for more on this. Thanks for joining us today, Rahul.
Thank you so much, Sarah. It's been a pleasure. You stay safe and take care.
Thank you. You too.
Mm-hmm.